Hello, I'm Anneliese Waalkens, and today I'm hoping to discuss and bring to light the Australian Indigenous concept of identity, using Stephen Oliver's spoken word and poetry as an art form to illustrate this further. Identity is the way in which we identify ourselves through incorporating beliefs, morals, qualities, and personality, along with physical traits. The process of identity can be positive or destructive, particularly amongst minority and discriminated groups, such as Indigenous Australians. Identity is very much linked to culture and language, which further allows an individual to self-express, create a self-concept, and group affiliation. Each of these aspects will majorly contribute to one's identity. However, identity never has to be permanent. Identity is important for individuals to find a sense of belonging, not only in their community, but also within themselves. A strong sense of self allows an individual to not be swayed by the opinions of society or social norms. Stephen Oliver is an Indigenous Australian influential speaker who often addresses challenging concepts, including identity, in his spoken word poems. His art form is highly influential and educational on the Indigenous community. Arts are an integral part of learning and addressing a side of education that is often neglected, but at the same time so useful to visual learners. Indigenous artists like Stephen Oliver are crucial in shedding light on the beliefs of identity in the Australian Indigenous community. In the first part of his poem, it is evident to see that people question his Aboriginality due to their uneducated preconceptions that Indigenous people are a particular type, colour and appearance. Not only is this extremely racist, but also harmful to Indigenous Australians who haven't built a strong self-concept, possibly due to a young age or external circumstances.
Half-caste, he said to me, that I wasn't one of those real Aborigines. I said he spent some time with them in the outback, then he looked at my skin, said I wasn't even black. I was more of a brown, he went on to explain, his voice the whole time with a certain disdain. He stared a bit longer and said, I suppose when I look at your face, I see a bit of the nose. Oh, I said, a bit taken aback to this obvious expert on everything black, my head in a muddle just trying to see why this man had a need to be questioning me. He stayed a bit longer, so I said to the guy, are you waiting for me to try and justify the complexities of identity when it comes to Aboriginality?
Stephen Oliver then further illustrates that we determine our own identity. He knows who he is, nobody else can determine that for him. And those accusing him of wrongly identifying himself as Indigenous don't know his background, family, or life. These assumptions are merely based off appearance.
Ago, I was not the real thing, yet now by his words, my heritage clings. Of course he was Aussie, I knew that he was, but I wanted to show him that simply because I have other bloodlines flowing through me, it does not alter my identity. The way that I've lived, the way that I've grown, my heritage is something that I've always known, just in the way he is Anglo-Saxon, but yet in his heart he is Australian. I don't question his call, I accept it as fact, so why do his questions feel like an attack, relentlessly trying to prove he is right by saying I'm not black? Yet I'll never be white.
Stephen Oliver illustrates clearly that identity is an ongoing part of Indigenous life that is constantly questioned by those who are uneducated. His art form is inspiring and influential on Indigenous Australians, particularly those who are constantly conflicted by others about their identity. It is important that his concept is brought to light as Indigenous Australians have been marginalised for far too long. Identity is imperative in the esteem and concept of oneself, therefore engaging in art forms like Stephen Oliver's that draw upon the importance of standing up for identity are significant in schools and the Indigenous community, as it is those who are students, young and easily influenced, may conform when their identity is questioned as they are still discovering themselves as they mature, putting them at risk for self-deprecating acts.
What's in my heart? The connection I feel is something unseen but totally real. And unless you have lived it, you don't know its strength, so you'll never disprove it, no matter what length you go to, because it is something so true, just as is the Australian in you. Whatever your last name, whatever it be, Maguire or Tomic or Andrews or Lee, names that arrived from a foreign shore. Yet you are Australian to your very core, so please understand when I say that I am a proud Australian Aboriginal man. And though I might have other bloodlines in me, it does not alter my identity.
Overall, it is evident that art forms are an influential part of educating others on concepts surrounding Indigenous world knowledges. Art allows for individualised interpretation of the concept whilst emphasising underpinned messages, such as identity. Identity is such a predominant part of each of us, therefore should be discussed, especially amongst impressionable students and those in marginalised groups, in order to prevent stereotyping and lowering of self-esteem. And art is an amazing way to portray the importance of this. As pre-service teachers, we need to encourage the importance of identity for our students. Thank you so much.